Good morning, everyone. So again, my name is Tasha Lard. I am the owner of JD's Beauty Supply, and I am here in Pepperwood Plaza. So I'm going to start with the beginning of JD and where the name came from. Last year, with my family, we took some significant loss. I lost two of my uncles, my mother's brothers, 2 weeks apart from each other. One name was Jesse. He was my uncle who was scared when I went into labor and kind of walked 5 miles to find my mom, who was at a grocery store shopping. He walked me down the aisle in my wedding. And my uncle Doug, when I first moved here to Iowa with me and my children, he actually packed up his whole entire house and moved here with me so that I wouldn't be here alone. And so JD stands for Jesse and Doug. So I named my store after them. And so when I opened the store, it was kind of rough. I was trying to figure out, I don't know what name to use. And then I'm like, let's name it after them because they did mean so much to me. And the reason I opened JD's Beauty Supply is it was a need here in the community for it. I'm originally from Chicago, but I've been here for several years. And every time as an African American woman that I needed something for not only my hair, but my children's hair as well, both boys and girls, and boys care more about their hair than girls do nowadays, I would have to either go to a neighboring state, I would have to go back home to Chicago just to get those supplies. Because if we're honest, if you go into Walgreens or you go into Walmart in here in Iowa, they're not available. And I knew that I wasn't the only person that felt like that. There were several of us that would have to travel back all the way back to Chicago just to get those simple supplies. Everyone's hair is different. Everyone needs different supplies, especially in the African American community. The African American community hair care is $1 billion industry. And it was just kind of sad and disheartening that we would have to travel so far just to get the basic tools to maintain our hair and not only maintain it, but to style it as well. And so I decided to open a beauty supply here in Pepperwood Plaza so that the individuals who reside in not only Iowa City, but surrounding towns can come here and get the supplies that they needed to maintain their hair. Um, Not only here in my store, I also have something called my business corner. In my business corner, I have other small businesses in Iowa City, in Pepperwood Plaza, where I allow them to put their business cards here so that when someone comes in and visits the store and they're looking for something in particular, I can say, hey, look over in the corner and there's something there. I also suggest anyone who has any type of small business. I always say if you walk dogs, bring a card. If you clean offices, bring a card because there's someone who wants a dog walker. There's someone who wants their office clean. And so for me, that's my way of giving back to the community is having that corner so other business owners can flourish and kind of put their businesses out there. So for me, again, it was just something I saw that was a need for in the community. And I wanted to bring that here to Pepperwood Plaza, not only just for this area, but other surrounding areas. I've had individuals actually come here all the way from Cedar Rapids. And they'll say, I saw your live on Facebook and I'm glad you're here. I had one young lady actually say, you are a blessing to be here in the community because I have nowhere else to get my supplies for my hair. Again, if you go to Walgreens or you go to Walmart, we have that one corner that says ethnic hair, and it's maybe 5 or 6 supplies that is offered. When you come into JD's Beauty Supply, there are multiple things that you can buy, multiple oils, multiple greases, multiple braiding hairs, multiple weaves. So there are different supplies that I offer here in JD's Beauty Supply. I also have my son who works here. He's online in school, but he works here as well. So we're very welcoming to every race that comes in. I've had Hispanics from the Hispanic community come in, and I offer supplies for everyone because again, everyone here is different, and so that was one of the reasons I wanted to open JD's Beauty Supply is to offer that to the community.
Can you tell the story of you bringing back supplies to the community? And I love that story when you told me that.
So before I decided to open JD's Beauty Supply, again, I would travel back home to Chicago to get supplies. Well, who wants to keep traveling there every time they needed something for their hair? Of course, that's too far of a distance. And so I would buy items in bulk, just not for me, but for my daughter, for my sons. I would buy it in bulk so I wouldn't have to go back for a while. And so I'm on 80 and I'm coming back and I'm kind of going a little over the speed limit. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm getting pulled over. And so the state trooper looks and he's going around my car with a flashlight. And the kid's like, what is he doing? I'm like, I don't know. So he looks in the trunk and he comes around. He said, so can I ask you, why do you have so much stuff in your trunk? I was like, I well, I have to buy items in bulk for my kids here, and so I just buy in bulk. I mean, would you like to see the items that I purchased? He was like, oh no, I was just curious. I was like, oh, okay. Are you going to give me a ticket so I can kind of get home now? He's like, no, I just saw that all the stuff was in the window and I wanted to know what it was. So that was why I got pulled over.
Well, and it was, like trying to bring back for other people as well. So it's like you
Yeah,
were already starting your business, like hustling to get these products to the community. And like
right.
it shows the links that you've gone to like really like fix this problem that we're facing. So I love that story. It's great. And then can you share like what's unique about your space? Like what used to be there? It's kind of a
Yeah.
neat story as well.
So JD's Beauty Supply used to be the police substation of Iowa City. And so I've had several individuals come in and ask, where's the police station? And I'm like, it's no longer here. And they were like, well, on our map, it says the police station is here. I'm sorry, sir, but it's not. And I have to give them directions to where the police station actually is. But this is no longer the police substation.
It's great. You should convert them to customers too. One thing to note too, Tasha has things beyond hair care products. So I got some like hand cream there, body like lotion. So there really is stuff for everyone there and definitely recommend checking out. And what did you have in the back of your store that people with children might be interested in as well?
So one of the things that I've had because of COVID, no one really wanted their children to kind of go out, and there's really not a lot for kids to do in this area. We have the jump zone, trampoline park, but that was pretty much about it. And so I decided to open up kind of like a classic game room in the back of my beauty supply. So while the parents were shopping, the kids can actually go back there and play video games. So I had games like we played Miss Pac-Man, like all of those old classic games, even the game you had at Chuck E. Cheese where you throw the ball into the hole. And so that was one of the things that I also offered to the community was a game room so that kids can actually come in and enjoy themselves and kind of kick back, especially with COVID and there's not much to do in the area. So that was another thing that I offered here at JD's Beauty Supply.
Thanks, Tasha. I think we'll open it up to questions. I'll ask the first one. Do you have any pieces of advice for entrepreneurs who are like starting their own business? Like what have you learned along your path to entrepreneurship? Like what's the one?
Don't stop. Don't quit. For me here, unfortunately, I faced a lot of racism when opening, trying to even find a location here in Iowa City. It was very sad. It was very disheartening. One of the things happened, and I literally laid in my bed and cried all night and got up that morning. My eyes were bloodshot red. And by degree, I'm a social worker. I work for Linn County. I'm a transit driver. I drive buses for Linn County. And so that morning, those mornings I would get up and I would just be so disheartened, so discouraged, because I didn't believe that something like this can actually happen to anyone in this time, in this age, especially in our area. One of the things that happened was I found a location. It was great. It was a great location. It was able to be, you can get there on the bus. It was great. And I met with the person. They said, hey, the lease is simple. It's just a simple lease. I'll send it over. The next day, I'm waiting for the lease. I never received it. I called. They said they had a family emergency, which I understood. We all have family emergencies. The day after that, I still never got the lease. I called, I emailed and said, I was anticipating the lease today. I would like to know what happened. Is there anything that I can do so that we can move forward with the process? They said, no, you're fine. They just want to change some things on the lease. Okay, well, I thought you took, in my mind, I'm like, I thought it was a simple lease. So when I get this lease, it was so stereotypical that I just was disheartened. I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up because I could not believe in this day and age it was actually happening in a town that prides itself on diversity. The lease said no loud music, no loitering outside the store. I could not advertise inside the building or outside the building. They wanted to know how much I made every month. Some of the wording in that lease when you do business, there's a base lease and there's a percentage lease. They wanted me, they had in the documentation that it was base and percentage. So when hey, could you take that out because it's not percentage, it's strictly base? They said, no, we're not removing that from the lease. And then it was at that moment that I decided to tell them, I'm sorry, I will not pay you every month for this. And I walked away. And it was still in the area. I had someone say, we ran your credit, which of course, I'm a business owner, so you should run my business credit to rent a unit. I was in the process of purchasing home. And so when someone ran my credit, I would get a ding. We all know you check your credit, you monitor it. I would get a ding when my credit would be wrong. I never got a ding. And so when I said, he said, I decided not to go with you. I decided to go with someone else because you had one collection on your report. I said, you never ran my credit. He said, well, I did. I said, no, you didn't. He said, well, I'm just going to go with someone else, but I did run your credit. Sir, and I had to inform him at that moment, if you had ran my credit, I would have gotten alerted. So you didn't run my credit, but thank you anyway for your time. I appreciate it. And you have a great day. And so to face those type of things here in a place where I call home was very discouraging, but I could not quit because I have children who they're watching me and they're watching how I handle things and they're watching. And I want to make sure they know to never quit on a dream you have, especially when it's for the benefit of someone else. And I was raised in social work and raised, if you cannot help them, then don't harm them. My goal was to not offer these supplies, but to help the community as well, because I feel that this community will grow. And we're working on some things to ensure the growth of the South District.
Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that. And I would just like to say, whoever that was, I think they really missed out because, I think you're doing some amazing things with your place there in the neighborhood there, and that wouldn't have happened otherwise. So it's their loss.
It is.
Any other questions from people?
I love your story. And we do this all for our kids, and they are watching us and will emulate us someday and do the things that we're doing. So bravo on staying strong and putting on a good front, because that would not be easy. And I'd like to connect with you personally to find out who those individuals were so that we can gently slide some information in their direction on how to improve themselves. But anyway, that's a near here there. We'll get to that later. So tell me, how long have you been in business?
I opened September 5th of last year. It was actually a birthday present to myself.
Oh my God.
Birthday, I opened on my birthday.
You opened a company during a pandemic.
Yes, I did.
Is there any chance that at some point in time you will rent out your game room post-COVID?
Actually, the game room now is turned into a wig room. We're in the process of turning it into a wig room because everyone doesn't want to try on wigs in front of a room full of people. So this actually gives them the privacy of trying on wigs without people looking at them or staring at them.
That's awesome. And I'm a little disappointed because I wanted to rent out your game room someday.
can open in a separate game room.
Exactly. Exactly.
Other questions?
So
Tell us a little bit about the traffic that's down in Pepperwood Plaza.
the traffic in the Pepperwood Plaza area is actually it's growing significantly because one, we're all new businesses here. There's a couple that kind of been here a little while, but not very long. For now, we have me who's new, and I bring in a significant amount of traffic. And we have the crisis center who's here now, who initially was on Gilbert Court, but now they're here in Pepperwood Plaza. So that brings in more traffic. We have the school on the end and the church. So that brings, so the traffic here and the post office, of course. So that traffic in this area is grown so fast and so significantly till it's really great.
That's awesome.
Can I ask what can somebody posted this in the chat? What can we help you with today? What is something that you're challenged with that currently that you don't know whether or not somebody could help, but you're willing to throw it out there?
I'm going to throw it out there. So not just for me here in Pepperwood Plaza, I think it's for all of us, even some of the nonprofits that's here, is signage. Signage is a big problem here because it's so expensive. Because they have to travel from different areas just to bring the equipment here. So we're being charged, when you apply for signage, you're being charged for that equipment rental, bring the equipment, making the sign. And so that's one of the things that I can actually use at this point is just the signage, because if it wasn't for Facebook and a lot of me doing foot traffic and a lot of word of mouth, no one would know that I'm here, because the signage is something that I don't have here on the store.
And I have to tell you that I have seen you on social media, especially Facebook, so much, which is great, especially being such a brand new company. So you're clearly doing something well.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
Are there any other questions for Tasha?
Hey, Tasha. My name is Ricardo. I'm a realtor here. And well, first of all, I'm really sorry to hear what you dealt with in the process of looking for space. If these were real estate professionals you were dealing with, I can connect with you and refer you to a resource where you can report that, because that's just unacceptable. But kudos to you for keep going and opening your business and being successful, obviously. So happy to hear that. My question for you, though, is, and it's kind of just topical. Well, what's your take on Gorilla Glue Girl? And can you leverage that to maybe advertise your business?
I actually, if JD's Beauty Supply, we have our own Facebook page, and I actually put it there, the whole video. That poor girl, because us as Black women, we go through a lot of trials and tribulations just to maintain our hair and just to do it and style it. So there are so many things that we have to use just to have our hair look nice and presentable. And so she tried something and it did not work, and it fell horribly for her. I think she had to cut all her hair off.
I have not seen or heard about this. What is this Gorilla Glue Girl? Like, I don't even know what this is.
So she did a style to her hair. She initially she usually used Got to Be Glue, which is a holding spray. Mm-hmm. She ran out of Got to Be Glue, and so she went and got into a can of Gorilla Glue, and she sprayed it on her hair. And when she sprayed it on her hair, she could not take the style down. The style was there permanently for about a month, and she tried shampooing everything to take it down, and she could not get it down. So now she wound up having to go to the hospital for them to kind of get it out.
Oh, that is awful.
It is.
That's because Elmer's glue is what people used to use to get the big high mohawks.
Yeah.
But Gorilla Glue do not use that. This is a lesson we're learning.
Yes. And especially amongst ethnic hair, African American women's hair is so different. The texture is very, very different. And so to put something like that in your hair, she tried, and it didn't end well for her.
Well, I think it shows how valuable a resource like you are in the community to help like people figure out their hair and like make them feel comfortable and empowered in their own, hair and personality and skin.
Yeah. And
I'd like to give a plug for Elmer's glue. When I was in high school, I had a 4-inch mohawk, and now I have a 2-millimeter mohawk. So I wish I could use the Elmer's glue.
But not Gorilla Glue. That's Gorilla Glue. Not Gorilla Glue.
Tasha, I have a question for you. It's really exciting to hear what you're doing with your business. It's exciting, the creative ideas that you're getting for your back room. It was a game room and that met a need in the community, now a wig room. Are there any sneak peeks that you would like to give us of what else is next for you? I just hear a lot of that creativity and ability to meet needs coming. Anything else coming, or do we need to wait for the surprise on Facebook?
You're going to have to wait for the surprise. There are so many things that we're doing, and not just here in JD's Beauty Supply, but in the South District as a whole. We are changing some things, and we're trying to get a lot of things going here right now in the Southern District, in the South District, and you're going to have to wait.
That could be a good transition to our community announcement since we're running out of time here. But do you want to give a plug for those 2 events that you have coming up, Tasha?
I do. So on February 20th, I would be honoring in our African American Black History Month. I will be having a photo shoot for little girls called Chucks and Pearls Photo Shoot. And it will be for all little girls. I at JD Beauty Supply will supply the pearls, which the little girls would get to keep. And it's in honor of Black History Month and of our first African American Vice President of the United States. And so that photo shoot will be happening on the 20th, and it is free of charge, but all donations will be going to DVIP of Iowa City.
And then what's happening on the 18th?
The 18th, the South District, we will be having a kind of a informal information thing for that morning online. It will be virtual. And then that evening, kind of letting you guys know what is in store next for the South District. I don't want to speak too much because this is a group effort, and I want the group to present it as a whole, and it wasn't just me.
How do we find an event for that? Is that on Facebook too, Tasha? Can we find a link to it?
Yep, it will be on Facebook. I also will share it in my page at JD Beauty Supply, but if you look at the South District, it will also be there as well.
Awesome. Well, I cannot wait for that. That'll be awesome. And the Pearls and Chuck's event sounds really cool as well. So thanks for sharing that.